Well, welcome back, everybody. Before we go ahead and get started this evening here, I want to go ahead and thank all the people, the men and women of the U.S. military, police, fire, everybody who's gone ahead and fallen in the service of our country in different ways. And so we'll keep that in mind as we celebrate Memorial Day this weekend. And thank you again for all of you that have sacrificed so much and your families. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and kick off the weekend video here. Obviously, we have a lot to go ahead and share because I did the special events a week and a half ago, and I'm so glad I did because everything we went ahead and talked about followed through, right? So we told you in advance, if you recall, like for instance, we even had a staff member in a position in SQQQ, SQQQ, and as we identified that, we kind of kept you up to speed. Where on last Friday, a week ago here, member of my team here actually exited his position. We announced that last Saturday at the follow-up part 2 to the special training that we did. And so, boy, was that not great timing, right? We told you about that Saturday morning when we did the event. Told you, hey, we did go ahead and exit that Ted did. And sure enough, you can see what's happened since then. So let's go ahead and recap a couple of the different things because once again, we see the way this market responded here on Friday. It went ahead, all the things that we talked about there last Wednesday, last Saturday, followed through again today. And kicking off them, I told you in that Saturday event, the whole reason why the position was exited up here was, number one, we were hitting target 2 on my TRP tools. TRP is kind of one of the two most important pieces of work from me, so when it hits target 2, in fact, you'll see previously it hit that right here, had a rejection, hit it over here, had a rejection. So we saw it hitting over here again, and we were hitting weekly support on the SPY. It went ahead and was a big concern for me. That we could not ignore. And so we pointed that out to you. And also on the daily charts, we were making a lower low in price, but a higher low in my ITP indicators, which is another key piece of my work there. And we saw that both the SPY and the Dow. Here, let me look at the diamond with you right now. So as we pull that up, you see we're making a lower low in price here, but we were not making that low in the indicator. So I shared all that with you as we were into last Saturday's class. So if you guys came on Wednesday, you guys got to learn a lot. And then on Saturday, I was able to give all those updates. Well, here we can now see in hindsight what I shared with you in foresight. And that's what's important, right? And talking the talk, walking the walk, and telling you about these things in advance. So where we're at right now, looking at the market first, and we'll talk about some other things with this, is we are now pushing back up to those falling resistance areas. You recall what I talked about here, right? We got these channels coming down. We've got this resistance that was support for a year and a half. Now this whole area is still a big fat area of resistance, okay? So the diamond went ahead and stopped right at it. The S&P fell a little bit short of it. Bottom line is it's all resistance. Same thing even here on the weekly chart. You can go up here into the weekly area and still be at resistance. We have a lot of work to do. So what I've told you was, while the market's figuring out whether it wanted to break down below the key support levels over here and then move to much lower levels down below, or if it wants to break back above, make these areas of resistance, make them back into support, and then start to take back off, that's great. We don't care either way. What we've talked about was the strategy from an intraday perspective, focusing on those trades ideas I shared with you before. And you can see today, look what happened. Basically, the NASDAQ fired off a wealth signal indicator, fired off a champion trend, fired off a breakout forecaster, then turned around and did additional IRBs and reverse IRBs and continuation, fresh re-entry signals and breakout forecasts, all meaning the same thing, right? Push up, pull back, continuation, and the entire day here, as we squeeze this on in, then was basically that, right? So it came off the sell zone side earlier, and you went right into the buy side, and it never looked back into the U.S. market hours here. So over and over and over again. That strategy that I shared with you on last Wednesday and last Saturday went ahead and followed through very nicely. So congratulations to all of you that learned a great deal from that. Now, as we go ahead and we look, so if you're saying, well, Rob, what are some of the ideas? Where can I be looking for ideas? Well, within wealth charts, right, there's the wealth scanner and the sector scanner. Those are just two of many great tools. So as we take a look, let's take a look here at wealth scanner. Well, you recall that I've been telling you guys, shipping companies, energy companies, these are all different types of companies that are very, energy, shipping, those are all types of things that are very good, right? We've been talking about energy for quite some time. Supply chain we've been talking about for quite some time, and so here we are. You can see, right up here, guess what? Diana Shipping, right? So a lot of different types of stocks that are out there. Another way, in addition to finding different ideas off of Wealth Scanner, go over to Sector Scanner here. So with Sector Scanner here, as we take a look, here's some classics, right? Because I've been talking about oil, gas. We kind of looked at those even last week when we were doing the special trading class. So as you pull it out, we can just take a look and do a sort by what's hot, what's not. VLO, well, VLO, where does VLO sound familiar to you? VLO has been on this list for quite some time. VLO is another one of these energy companies, and it's been out here even since February. You can see it fired off a wealth signal indicator, it fired off IRBs, reverse IRBs, it fired off breakout forecasters there, and sure enough, look what happened, right? It continued on over and over and over again here. This one's VTNR, by the way. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong one, but it's the same thing, right? The VTNR was one that was on the scans as well in the energy sector previously. So you can see it fired off wealth signal and all these things that we just talked about. Let's go over to VLO, since that's actually right up here in the scan. So same concept though, right? Wealth signal. Then you got multiple champion trend re-entries. You've got the breakout, the wealth charts breakout indicator, and you've got the breakout forecaster over and over and over and over again. Entries and re-entries into this, and just went ahead and hit another high today. We've talked about VLO multiple times now previously. So in other words, you can use things like Wealth Scanner and Sector Scanner to find some of the most interesting ideas, sort them by your daily or weekly algo scores, and just a really powerful tool. There's a lot of things you can do, to filter those types of things. So those are some of the ways. So again, but it's a common theme. I feel like a broken record, but that's, as we can see right here, that's kind of been the play, right? Energy and supply chain, things like that. The things that are the focus in the news these days. And so with that being said, bringing it all kind of full circle, we were looking at the key support off the weekly. We had positive divergences over here. So we said, from a intraday trade perspective, be following the champion trend. Okay, that was a great move today, once again, as we can see. And then in the bigger picture, we want to see if we can now break above these key resistance levels, pull them back, make them support before they take off, or do we roll back down here below these areas, and then we'll see much lower lows. So those are the kind of two things we're watching, and then in the meantime, taking very selective trading opportunities through like Wealth Scanner, Sector Scanner, finding the best things that are moving in the here and now. That's kind of the key focus. Okay, so very consistent with what we'd share with you in advance and what we've been talking about for a while, and then we followed up with those classes. So that's the plan. That's what we're still looking at. Nothing has changed, but I just want to show you how what we said in advance, how it kind of all played out, so you can learn from that and apply it to your future active trading investing as you guys go ahead and see fit. And we'll look forward to seeing you in some upcoming classwork. So stay tuned for information on that. Okay, you guys have a great night. We'll see you all soon. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.